All right, my friends. Good Sunday day, pretty much, because it's like 11:50 where I'm at. My name is JB, Jeremy. Basically, I'll just let you know a little bit about why I'm doing this. I've reached a point where I'm now 31 years young. I feel that I have a good amount of sports knowledge that I want to share. And really, it comes down to the fact that this is something where I make projections and 70% are right. Now, today I'm not going to do any predictions. Really, I just want to go ahead and tell a little bit about why I'm doing this. So, I always have sports knowledge, I've always enjoyed sports knowledge, and I now want to talk about it. If it makes something out of it, cool. If you have an opinion on it, great. Even if you don't like what I have to say and you want to watch, I appreciate you taking an interest into the time where things are right now and you just want to kind of say, hey, let's listen. Well, really, what I want to bring up is the shirt that I'm wearing first, One Giant Leap. I'm a big fan of space, travel. I want to know more about it. I read about it. But also, what I think about with doing this, One Giant Leap. This is my one giant leap that I'm taking. I want to go ahead and bring up my knowledge to others. And if you're interested, that's great. If you're not, like I said, thank you for the view. So, really, with the one giant leap that I do want to bring up is starting to talk about what sports have been like right now. They're a desire, they are not a necessity. With that being said, it's still good to talk about from time to time, even knowing the fact that eventually things will get back to not normal, but what we will call reality. And with reality comes the fact that fans will be in attendance. There will also be, less protocols of what's going on, especially with the NBA protocol, which I am going to bring up a little bit here in the end, but also with UFC or the golf or NASCAR or even a baseball game that I watched last night, which I did enjoy because Yankees, my team, won nicely in Citi Field. But before I get started with everything, the first thing that I want to talk about is UFC. I've been making predictions to my brother-in-law, and I've been about 70 to 75% correct. I did not make any picks yesterday. I just wanted to watch the fights, and I wanted to give a shout out to Figueiredo, the rear naked choke that he did to win the flyweight title yesterday. He took the guy out of the fight early, constant takedowns, was also doing knockdowns. It reached a point that when he took the third knockdown, great punch that he landed. As soon as I saw it, I knew the fight was ending right there. He had already put him into a few submission attempts with the rear naked choke. As soon as he put that one in, I even said, he's out. And he actually didn't tap out. He passed out to the point where his eyes rolled in the back of his head. Kind of spooky. But in the end, a really good win for Figueiredo, now being the flyweight champion of the UFC with the rear naked choke. I'm very happy for him. Brazil has a lot of great fighters who fight in the UFC. This is just continuing, and I think that it's going to continue with his career. This is just the first time where he's won the belt. I know that when Dana White gave him the belt last night, you could really see what it meant. He also was kind of concerned for the other fighter, rightfully so. He took him out completely. But the next thing that I want to bring up is Fight Island, a move by Dana White that I think is genius. Quarantining them in Abu Dhabi for reasons why we need the international fighters to come through. It's genius. And these things will continue to grow. I feel like when we get into a few of these later fights, maybe in the fall, we'll see if we still need to have the travel restrictions in Abu Dhabi and Fight Island will be the best protocol. I personally think that fights are going to be back in Vegas here in the next 3 months. Fans probably not going to be there, but we'll see. I mean, anything can change. I'm not going to call it back to normal. I'll just call it back to what is a now thing of reality. But Fight Island has been a very genius move for the UFC. Great way to bring it in. And really another thing that I appreciate about Fight Island is the fact that they are doing those fights live in our prime time, which signifies to them we're having those fighters wake up at 11 p.m. at night, their local time, start getting ready for these fights, and then it's 2 a.m., we're having the preliminaries start, and then by 5 a.m., when it's 9, 10 o'clock here, we're having the main event fights. So last night, I'm watching that fight at 9:50, 10 o'clock. Strong fight, but knowing that the sun is coming up in Abu Dhabi in Fight Island, it makes me kind of smile that they've done this because, again, they're not necessarily going out where they are quarantining. And the key word is quarantining. I'm not going to call it a bubble. I will explain that when we get into the NBA talk here. But the quarantine that goes with it is genius. They're keeping them on a local Eastern Standard Time Zone schedule, and it works out. Now, there will be some more fights next week. Till and Whitaker next Saturday. I will make a prediction on that, not in this video, but I'm going to do it on a video that I will do Wednesday or Thursday evening. I do want to hear if you have any opinion on it. I personally feel right now that I'm 50-50, but, things change. I'll look a little bit forward. I feel that the Australian might have a chance there, but I also believe that Till, he's no slouch either. So I'm going to look into it this week. If you have a prediction, you can tell me. Remember, an opinion is good as long as we understand that it is an opinion. And we watch the fight, and then after it, even if I'm wrong, I'm still happy to talk about it. I'm also looking forward to seeing Shogun Rua, 38 years young, great fighter. Another one of those Brazilian fighters, goes along with Figueiredo. Maybe seeing that fight will help him go, okay, there could be a little bit more to it. So I'm really excited about that. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and it kind of made me think about awareness. So I don't know if anyone watched the Bukauskas Michailidis fight. It was a fight night, early fight for Wednesday. Well, Bukauskas did a good job. He was making his UFC debut, and he had a good fight. I mean, he won the fight by TKO, but it was kind of like one of those questionable TKOs, and it was because of Michailidis, what happened at the end of it. First of all, in the final 10 seconds of the first round, Bukauskas is doing a great job with legal headshots to the back part of the head. It was more like above here, totally in legal range, not low to cause harm to the neck. Totally illegal. He got like good 6 shots in. And then what happened is after the 6th shot, horn sounds, go ahead to the corners. Well, Michailidis is a little out of it, and rightfully so. It wasn't going to be his fight regardless. But the awareness of what happened was the gate opened for the cage, and they're going ahead right there, and they are bringing in the fact that they're going to go ahead and get people all set up. So what ends up occurring there is Michailidis falls out of the cage. And immediately the referee is standing right there. And so with the ref standing right there, the only other thing that happens is they basically go ahead and wave off. It was a TKO at 5 minutes into the first round. Bukauskas getting a win. I'm grateful that he got the win. But I don't like the fact that the awareness of the Greek fighter unfortunately caused it to be a knockout. So, needless to say, I had certainly thought Bukauskas was going to win that fight, and I'm glad he did because my prediction was right there. But it really made me think, like, are things going to be like that from now on? Just having awareness when you're doing a sport. That's really what I'm asking for. These guys are professionals. They know what they're doing. I mean, after the fight, he didn't complain or anything. He was very professional about it, shook the hand. But even I was like, man, that was a little bit out there. Anyway, enough about UFC right now. I want to keep these videos to about 15 to 18 minutes. I feel like if it goes to 35 to 40, I start losing people. If it goes to 50 to 60, you almost want to just say, Jeremy, get on with the point. I'm wearing a hat, the Hurricanes hat. It's one of my many hats that I have. I will also, with every video, be wearing a new hat. I probably need to get a few more as well, but I had another Miami hat that I liked, but unfortunately, when my wife and I went to our honeymoon in Universal Studios, I left it on a ride, and rest in peace. Well, the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about with UFC is predictions. I will do at least 5 fights predictions when I do them. And like I said, Wednesday or Thursday, I will come out with that video. If you agree with my fighters who I picked, cool. If you go, Jeremy, I don't like your pick, cool. Doesn't matter to me. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to bring up was the Memorial Tournament in the hometown of myself, Dublin, Ohio. So, with the Memorial Tournament, I know that we also had the Charity Open there last week. Of course, changed a lot. They definitely have let the rough grow. Greens are moving a lot quicker. And Jon Rahm is just destroying the field right now. It hasn't been his tee off. He'll tee off here in about 2 hours and change. But it is his tournament to lose. He has a 4-stroke lead going into Sunday. I feel that he will win it. I also know that Tony Finau is up there, and it's good to see also Tiger, even though he's not going to win this by a long shot. He would have to shoot basically a 57, which he's not going to do, and he would also need Finau and Rahm to kind of just lose it, especially with the field that's out there. But it's been exciting to watch a little bit here and a little bit there. I want to go ahead and bring up a few other things. With the golf that is going on right now, I feel that having no fans there has made these guys play a little bit differently. They've even said that it's different. I mean, I'm sure for any sport right now, playing with no fans in attendance, it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But baseball did something last night that I'll just bring up right now. They had artificial fan noise in the games, and this is going to be a common thing. Even if you watch the game, it was on ESPN2 last night between the Yankees and the Mets, you would have seen they had cardboard cutouts of fans behind home plate. A little bit too much. Liked how the announcers played a little bit of games with it. Also liked seeing baseball for the first time. If anything, baseball is a sport that I've always enjoyed watching. Hoping that the Yankees can do something this year with the modified season. Really don't care who wins this year. I'm hoping they do, but it doesn't matter. In the long run, what will end up happening is they play a 60-game season. We go ahead and do a little bit of extended playoffs, and we go from there. The most important thing right now is everybody staying safe and healthy. I have even brought up, for example, Yasiel Puig, who I think we can all agree is a few French fries short of a Happy Meal. He goes ahead, signs a deal with Atlanta. He's going to go there. Well, he tests positive for COVID, and the contract then becomes null and void. So what I will say as we go forward, let's just say stay safe playing this sport of baseball. I want them to be healthy and happy. And I mean, I know that right now one team doesn't even know where they're going to play. Are they going to play in Buffalo? Are they going to play in Florida? The Toronto Blue Jays, a big thing where the Canadian government said, you're not playing here. They actually were playing a inter-squad scrimmage last night when the announcement came out. So again, the sports are not important. They are a desire. Are they a necessity? No. And two other things that I wanted to bring up in this video. The first thing I want to bring up is NASCAR is at Texas Speedway this weekend. It has really been exciting to watch these races. There's really nothing else on. The ratings for NASCAR are up, which is a great thing. And the battle that I've been watching is Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Those two I enjoy watching in the field this year. They are going very competitively. It makes me really thrilled to watch it, knowing that it is a two-car race. As we go through more and more, I really get excited watching them race. Even when I was watching the Indy race from 2 weeks ago, and when I'm watching it, it's near the end of the race. Hamlin's in the lead and unfortunately blows a tire. And when he blew the tire, I was like, first of all, his car in the back caught fire. I mean, he was safe, he got out. But then I was like, it's Harvick's to win. He's not going to lose it. And even last week, I was watching where Hamlin was. He was in like the top 15. He didn't do bad. I was watching Harvick, though, and every caution that they were at the Kentucky Speedway, he's moving up ever so slightly, ever so slightly, ever so slightly. And I'm like, man, he's going to win this race. Well, he didn't. Cole Custer won, and give a very exciting shout out to the 22-year-old racer. It's first win. You could definitely see the excitement that he had doing all those burnouts. I was really happy to see it. Made me laugh. Then he was excited because he knew he'd be in the All-Star race, which, again, another great race. Give a shout out to Chase Elliott, son of a legend. So we keep going there. NASCAR, it's one of those things that's on right now, so take advantage. Even if you say, oh, all they're doing is turning left, all they're doing is turning left, all they're doing is turning left, well, just watch it. Give it like 20 minutes. You might get intrigued. If not, you can say, Jeremy, why'd you tell me to watch this? And I will say, because I told you to watch it. And again, opinion doesn't matter. Final thing I want to talk about, NBA, National Basketball Association. First thing I want to really say is that I appreciate the fact that NBA 2K20 is still there. I'm probably going to get 2K21. I've enjoyed playing it, and I've just really reached a point where I'm saying to myself, man, I've turned myself into a superstar on it. But another person I want to give a shout out to is Jesser. He does videos for NBA 2K. I watched a episode last night that he did on YouTube where he's opening a whole bunch of Galaxy Opal packs, and the whole time they're getting excited, they're trying to get Michael Jordan, and they did get a LeBron James, so I mean they were pretty happy, but just knowing how much fun they're having and seeing that, one of the reasons why I wanted to do a video as well, seeing that joy. And I don't want to go too far on that, but I do want to bring up the NBA, the bubble in Orlando. Friends, let's not call it a bubble. What do bubbles do? They pop. They pop. Yeah. You get an idea. So when they said Zion left the bubble, then the bubble popped. Or Harrell from the Clippers, he just left the bubble, so the bubble popped. I don't want us to call it a bubble anymore. It gives it just a bad feeling. Just call it the Orlando quarantine. Or the Orlando camp. Baseball's calling what they're doing right now with their games. It's not spring training, it's summer camp. So let's make it camp. Basketball camp. Let's just call it that. I'm tired of it being called the bubble. Bubble gives a bad idea that if you leave there, that Zion, because he left there, is going to get sick. He may catch it. We don't know, but also it could get there. I don't want it to be referred to as the bubble anymore. So that's really my little rant there. Anyway, video that will come out for Wednesday. We will talk a little bit more about the UFC and the fights that will go along with it. I will give you a few predictions on it. I really feel that maybe 5 fights picked. I will guarantee that I will pick the Till Whitaker fight. I will also pick the Shogun Rua fight. I will go ahead and recap a little bit more of the sporting events that I brought up here. And we will be right before baseball will start. So I will do it on Wednesday. With that being said, I will give you my top 3 teams to watch in baseball. And I'll try to be fair because I know one of them would be the Yankees. Until then, this is JB, Jeremy, signing off. Stay safe, everyone.